Yes, hello people, welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. We are not signing Harry Maguire. Repeat, we are not signing Harry Maguire. We're looking at Mark Guehi to potentially come back. I'm losing focus, baby. We're looking at potentially Mark Guehi to come back, who's a great player. I think, personally, the future England centre-back partnership should be two Chelsea Cobham graduates in Levi Colwill and Mark Guehi. That's how highly I rate him, of course, currently playing for Crystal Palace. But surely Wesley Fofana comes back, right? We also want to talk about Stamford Bridge redevelopment decisions being made. So, thank you for joining me. Please smash like on video by clicking it, well, pressing it with your thumb or clicking it with your mouse clicker. Thank you for liking the video. You are, of course, welcome to subscribe. As always, I recommend you hit the sweet bell. Alright then, should have vocally warmed up so I could have done the sweet, sweet bell, baby. Right, Chelsea have bought more land to redevelop Stamford Bridge. Pow! Here it is. As you can see, the area in red with the number 1 and the red squiggly line going around that territory. Apparently, I've read online, this has now been purchased by Chelsea. Now, Chelsea will not relocate, we will redevelop, which is a good decision by the new Chelsea ownership. As you can probably imagine, when Chelsea was sold by the Rain Group, when it was seized off Roman Abramovich, why am I losing focus, dude? Okay, it's so simple, just focus on my face. It's a beautiful face. Yes, so they had to, commit certain funds to redeveloping Stamford Bridge. And they want to do that sooner rather than later. They believe, this is going to be a long process. So therefore, they want to get it going and it's going to generate more revenue. It's going to make the brand better. It will make the football better. Now, that sounds kind of strange, but it's true because new stadiums are developed to enhance the acoustics of the home crowd, and make it more of a cauldron, which will be beneficial to the home team. So as you can see, we're not relocating. We're staying on the Fulham Road, Fulham Broadway, and they'll have more space. You'd imagine from looking at this graphic, the stadium and the pitch itself would turn 90 degrees and maybe centralize a little bit more and utilize the space surrounding the actual stadium itself for, the grounds being better. The American stadiums often have stuff around the stadium itself, less cramped, and yes, obviously it will look better. Now, the decision has been made by the Chelsea ownership not to redevelop Stamford Bridge stand by stand. Big decision. They believe for Chelsea to truly achieve, an amazing world-class new stadium developed to the optimal level, that they have to knock down this whole current stadium and rebuild it holistically rather than partially doing stand by stand, which kind of makes sense. Now, I don't know if this is decision set in stone, but I've certainly read it online, and everything on the internet is true. But for the sake of it, let's just imagine that this is a correct report. Obviously, clubs redevelop stand by stand all the time. Fulham just did it, with their big, lovely new stand by the river. Incredible, nice, it works for them. Chelsea understand that if they truly want to make something new and brilliant here, that they have to knock down everything and start again. And I think many of us could probably agree with that. The only issue is that means Chelsea will move away from Stamford Bridge and play elsewhere. And a written time frame I saw is 5 years. Dun, dun, dun. Now, it's good that they're staying at Stamford Bridge because had they chose to relocate after such a turbulent and difficult time for Chelsea supporters in terms of transition, selling Cobham players and just not really knowing what our culture is anymore and our DNA and our heritage of Chelsea, it's hanging in the balance, and moving away from Stamford Bridge could be the final straw that broke the football camel back, so to speak, or the fan back, if that makes sense. So it's good to stay. That's important. Keep the same location. I'm sure they'll build it. They've been quite smart with the kits and stuff and the retro stuff and the cut. They'll probably make it very Chelsea. They could probably sit down with all these designs and go, right, what's Chelsea from the 70s? The swanky Kings of the Kings Road and, the 90s Chelsea, like they try to do with the kids. And, they won't want to reference Abramovich, but the winning era. Let's interwove. Can we interwove? Yes, we'll do something like that into the stadium and make it look good. That would be great. I can see them doing that, but 5 years is a long time to be away, and you could just get lost as a soul. And, all these aforementioned things about remembering what Chelsea is and about 5 years away. I mean, Tottenham had a year and a half away at Wembley, and that stank. That was hella tricky for them. Where would Chelsea go? Will they do a stadium show with Fulham? Would they go to Wembley? Would they go to Twickenham? Kept popping up, but I don't think that would happen. I don't know, man. Personally, I think that'd be really, really tricky. In this time, Chelsea are trying to get back in the Champions League, win it. Essentially, probably, even if Pochettino does really well and outlives most managers, if Pochettino stays at Chelsea for 5 years, that's job done, mate. Do you know what I mean? That is like wicked, fine. He's been a huge success. That's what that means. So it's almost like beyond the Poch era. It's just so hard to look ahead. I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do. I think probably just rebuilding the stadium and making it so it makes Chelsea better, but doing it with the culture, remembering the history and the heritage. That's my personal thing. I think that's the right decision. But it's going to be really hard to stomach. I mean, I haven't been to Stamford Bridge for friggin' ages now. But, the fans that go every week in, well, every other week, how are they going to take this? Yeah, comment down below how you feel. It's pretty heavy, but I feel like it's like a necessary growing pain. So anyway, let's get back to the actual team and the football and the transfer. Jacob Steinberg's written on The Guardian where he's confirmed about Aubameyang going to Marseille and Chelsea considering re-signing Crystal Palace's Mark Guehi after losing Wesley Fofana to a serious knee injury. We don't need to speak about Aubameyang, we've spoken about him, but Wesley Fofana, before we speak about Guehi, let me just say my piece on Fofana. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of his. He's still very, very young. Chelsea signed Wesley Fofana for £69 million. Now, no one's talking about that. Everyone's talking about, and despite him always being injured as well, people are talking about, I can't believe we spent £60 million on Cucurella, or up to. Not digging out Cucurella. He had a very difficult personal experiences apparently last season, and that people don't know about, and whatever. And he's a great player, and he could come good. But people were digging him out. People, friggin' Wesley Fofana was 10 million more on that. People are not really talking about how much he cost because he's so good. Like, I'm really happy we got him for £69 million. Leicester wanted more than Harry Maguire because they were like, yeah, this kid's going to be the best centre-back in the league. Harry Maguire went for 80 million. We want Wesley Fofana to be a record signing, so you have to pay £85 million or something like that. So we got him for 69, which I'm very, very pleased about personally. I think the player himself obviously really wanted the move. He is a Chelsea fan, Wesley Fofana. Certainly he that was his English team that he supported growing up. Pictures of him very, very young in the Chelsea shirt. He will come back. You don't just cast aside a £69 million player who's in his early 20s. Granted, ACL's tough, and he did snap his leg as well, which is gross. Poor lad, for Leicester. So he's really been through it, bless him. And I don't know, man. Like, you can't just push him aside. He will come back. But maybe Guehi, is a welcome addition because Thiago Silva will leave. And then we don't know what's going to happen with Trevoh Chalobah. So then maybe when Wesley Fofana comes back, you have Fofana and Guehi on the right next season. And then you have Colwill and Badiashile on the left. Peut-être. Possibly. Anyway, Pochettino, who's allowed several senior players to leave, wants to strengthen midfield, as we've talked about. Of course, we've had an offer for Moises Caicedo, £70 million rejected by Brighton. But there is obviously confidence that that deal will get done. However, could be forced into the market after Fofana underwent surgery, and he'll be out for basically the whole season. And we hold an interest in Guehi, who, of course, we sold to Palace 2 years ago. For, at the time, it's another pure profit signing, a few million, didn't he go straight? He went straight from the academy to Crystal Palace. I don't think he's one of these players that went on loan. I might be wrong, but I don't think he did go on loan. I think they just plucked him out of the academy and paid loads of money for him. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, of course. Guehi came through Chelsea's academy, and they have the right to match bids from the other clubs. Oh, okay, so we don't have a buyback clause, but we've got like the right to match, and then if we match it, they have to sell him to us, I guess. Arsenal and Tottenham have tracked the England centre back, but they're yet to move for him. It's likely that Palace would look to make a significant profit after a year. So we sold him for 18 million quid. He's 23 now, so he's still very young. So he's still in Project 2030 just. We'd probably put him on a 47-year contract, as is our inclination. And he's impressed at Selhurst Park, and he has a good chance of being included in England's Euro squad of 2024. Certainly if he comes to Chelsea, he will. The question for Chelsea will be whether to react to the prospect of Fofana missing most of the season by spending a chunk of money on a defender. They've sold Koulibaly, though Pochettino can still choose from Thiago Silva, Badiashile, Levi Colwill and Trevor Chalobah. So as things stand, that's still 4 into 2. So this is why I'm a little bit like I said in previous videos, we still got cover, like 4 centre-backs into 2. Like if we are going to sell Trevor Chalobah, and bless him if he's not wanted by Pochettino, he's a very good player, but like just say that for instance, and of course Thiago Silva has got a season left in him, and we don't even know how much he's going to play. The considerations will be made. However, Silva turns 39 in September. A couple of months, 39. Dude will be pushing 40 by the end of the season. Badiashile is recovering from a groin injury, and Internazionale are interested in Chalobah. So there you go. So maybe there is a deal to be made with Trevor Chalobah still. It's a fluid situation. It's always a ruddy, fluid situation with Chelsea, and we're weighing up whether we need to get more depth. Though it's been stressed they are yet to make a serious move for Guehi, other names will come into contention, and one consideration for Chelsea will be whether they need a tall centre-back, of course, because we lack height and central midfield as well. And then the final line in Steinberg's article is Chelsea are not interested in Harry Maguire. Loads of articles and headlines are saying Chelsea are going to bid for Harry Maguire. But I choose to believe this one. I choose to believe not Harry Maguire not coming to Chelsea. That's the way I'm flowing, dude. Anyway, look, man. I'm a Guehi fan. I don't want to be like as the old Twitter Rati used to call it, a Cobham sexual. But Guehi is a highly rated, homegrown player, and he's very good and shown he can play very well in the Premier League. Of course, we sold him for £18 million sterling, which at the time seemed like a great deal, because I'm still pretty sure he just came from the academy. In fact, I'm just going to quickly look now. Oh no, he went to Swansea. There you go. Well, at least I'm pleased I looked this up while I'm still recording, because otherwise everyone in the comments would be, oh, is it Swansea, Jan? Okay, fair enough. So 2007 joined Chelsea, and then he did a season loan, season and a half maybe, a season loan at Swansea, where he made quite a few caps, and then Palace bought him. But Swansea would have been in the Championship. So yeah, we sold a Championship player for best part of £20 million, which as a young product. So at the time it looked really good, like a good piece of business. But that Palace would be like, how much did they sell Wan-Bissaka for? £50 million? So they'd be like 40 million quid probably, wouldn't they? Let's be real. And he's going to be on like, when did he go? 2 years ago. So he'll have 3 years left on his deal probably. Yeah, they'll take us to the cleaners. I don't know. I feel like of all the centre-backs, if we bought Guehi, I'd be like, yeah. If we bought Maguire, I'd be like, nope. He's young, he's proven, I think he's got called up to the England senior squad. I don't know. I think he's good. I think he'd offer, but we've got seniority with Thiago Silva. It's going to be like Thiago Silva and the 4 kids. Do you know what I mean? The 4 young centre backs. Even Chalobah's still young. Look, here's my position. Here's my final position on it. I don't know what Pochettino's thinking. If he says, okay, Trevor Chalobah, I've looked at his scouting, I've looked at his metrics, he doesn't fit exactly what I want to do for Chelsea as a centre-back. Me and my team have, he's a good kid, he's very talented, but he's not of the profile that we want. This is all speculation and theoretically. If he says that, and says Wesley Fofana is, but dude is out now, and I can't just rely on Thiago Silva on the right, then sign him. Look, if Chelsea want to play 2 left-footed centre-backs in Badiashile and Levi Colwill, then yeah, why not? I mean, you usually have 2 right-footers. Why not just go for 2 left-footers? It'll be a bit different. Opposition strikers won't be used to it. It'll be unconventional. But if we sell Trevo to buy Guehi, then fine. If you said to me now, and not everyone would agree with me, and that's fine, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. But if you said to me now, right, who do you start in the centre back, Guehi or Trevoh Chalobah? I go Mark Guehi personally, and that's nothing against Trevoh Chalobah. If you said to me, right, you need a player who can fit into different roles, I go Trevoh Chalobah. We know he can play right back, we know he can play centre back, we know he can play CDM. But if you say, right, if you just need one centre back to play this right centre back role, who are you going for? I personally go for Mark Guehi. But let me know what you think. Comment down below. Thank you for joining me again and your continued support. You can show your support by dropping a like, subscribing, and hitting the bell notifications icon. Love you lots, and I'll see you very soon, hopefully. Ciao.